So it's Throwback Thursday, and I have just come back from shopping at Lax World. Can you believe I've come across a Lax World carrier bag in one of their desks here at work? God knows where this come from, because this isn't the last time I was in Lax World was in 1996. So I have no idea where this Lax World bag has come from. So it's actually got the names of the different branches. You've got Towson, you've got the one in Annapolis, Denver, Columbus, Northern Virginia. But in my Lax World bag, what a throwback, Lax World. When I went to Lax World, we were on a junior lacrosse tour, and I was coaching, so it's a youth tour. And, here in the UK at the time, there was only I think maybe 3, possibly 4 locations in the entire country where you could buy lacrosse equipment. And, nothing like our store. They were pretty rubbish, to be honest. A place called Peak Sports was just it's like a warehouse. It just had cardboard boxes ripped open with gear inside. Nothing was on display. It was rough and ready, to say the least. There was a very overpriced sports store called Davin Sports, which was extortionate. I think even in '96, it was something ridiculous, like £6 for a lacrosse ball. And then Hattersley's, back in the day were, one of the main places to get your lacrosse equipment from. They had a very, very small display area. And I'm trying to think who else. Long time ago, there's not many places you can buy lacrosse equipment from. So, you'd walk into Lax World and you would just be in awe of the place. You're just full of lacrosse equipment. And fantastic experience going to the one in Kenilworth Mall in Towson. It was absolutely brilliant. But anyway, in my Lax World shopping bag, boom! I've got a throwback head for you. And this is the Brine Pulse. You will note the elastic band round the throat. That's meant to be there. If you've never seen the Pulse before, interesting concept with its reflex design or reflex technology, which is basically a rubber band. So I'll explain why the rubber band was there. So the rubber band is there because the bottom rail is only actually attached kind of here, yeah? You see there's a big cutout here because do you like that noise? It stretches, and you can adjust how much stretch or give, or I don't know, so how much it reflexes based off the position of the elastic band or the colour of the elastic band, because indeed it came with another elastic band. This is the elastic band, coloured elastic band, and then there was a grey elastic band. And it would kind of stretch, and I hold my hands up, I bought one of these for my brother. Again, I bought, so my brother's slightly younger than me. He was a lot better than me in our prime. He was, he's just a lot better than me. Got a Tapman, James, and very, very creative player. Still is, even though we're both, broken and slow. Still a good player. I'm still average. Well, below average these days. But, it was an interesting head, and I thought, I'll get one of those for James. And I apologise, James. I bought you some duff heads back at the time because I fell for some of the marketing. Which is funny because, now there's, marketing, but there's so many great heads on the market now. There was a period kind of around 2000s, kind of mid-2000s, where there was just kind of all this wacky technology being thrown at heads. And, R&D departments were kind of we've not brought a head out for at least a month. Quick, think of something. And some guy goes, we could put an elastic band on the throat and just cut all this out here so it stretches. Oh, that sounds like a good idea. So there's kind of some unusual stuff going on, and this was one of them, the Pulse. So this Pulse Lacrosse head, let's see what the marketing was at the time for it. So I've actually managed to find it on the internet. And it's funny because some of the heads that we feature here, some of them have very little information on the internet. You know, the internet was quite new. You know, so let's have a look what it says. The Brine Pulse was a very unique head when first arriving to the market. This was because Brine used a reflex technology system, an elastic band, which was basically a thicker rubber band near the throat, and you could adjust it. There's little ridges here at the throat, so you could adjust how much it stretched. Given the age of it, I'm afraid to remove this elastic band or to try and to throw and catch with this stick in case the plastic snaps, but this elastic band has probably seen better days. If you ever find an old elastic band, just stretch it, just kind of disintegrate. So it says here, the technology allowed the pocket to react to the force of the ball entering and leaving the pocket. Essentially, it helped catch the ball by absorbing force along with improving shooting passing accuracy. I'd have thought it'd be less accurate, wouldn't you? If it stretches all the time, it's got to be less accurate, hasn't it? But we bought into the marketing at the time. The head weighed 4.5 ounces, so pretty light for a head, and had a super pinch face with full offset design. Offensive orientated head for offensive midfielders and attackmen. And again, James, I apologise for buying you this head. Thought this might have been something at the time, and just kind of, like I said, there was a lot of weird stuff going on in the early 2000s to mid 2000s. Pretty sure I bought this at the Berlin Open. Not this particular one. I can't even remember where this came from, this Pulse. But it was in the vintage vault. I thought, I'll pull that out and do a quick video on it. So, if you haven't seen a Pulse before, that is the Pulse. And let's not go back to using elastic bands on heads. And let's not have a bottom rail that goes whoop every time you try and shoot and pass. Interesting head, but yeah, kind of not particularly memorable.